Hello everyone, welcome back to AK Coding. Today is the third day of learning HTML. Today's lesson is very interesting and you will be learning about more on formatting texts. If you're ready, let's get started. Today's lesson title is HTML links and navigation. So we'll be learning about links on texts and how to navigate them. So we'll be learning how to use anchor tags and create navigations. So what are anchor tags in HTML? In HTML we have anchor tag, which is written as you can see here, A. And this tag is used to create hyperlinks in HTML. And it allows you to navigate from one page to another one, either on the same website or an external one. And we have one attribute, which is href. I will tell you what is attribute and I will show you in VS Code today. So we have an attribute which is called href, and it specifies the URL destination of the link. For example, as you can see here, we have a tag which is opening and closing tag includes, and also there is one attribute which is called href. Attribute means like in tags we can use some attributes in order to make some functionality. So this is href, and it refers to example.com website. And when you click the wizard example on our browser, it navigates to this web page. We have two paths, which the first one is relative and absolute. What is path? As you know, path means like navigating something. Like for example, there is a path. For example, we can imagine you are crossing the river and there is a path, which is the bridge. So the path means is the link in this example. So we have two types of path, which is relative path and absolute path. The relative path points to a file or a resource relative to the current file's location, which is used for files within the same website. For example, as you can see here, we have an href, and in our href the link is navigating to about.html file, and this means it's a relative path. And we have an absolute path, which is full URL to the resource, including domain and protocol, which can be an example of this. This is the HTTPS, which refers to our URL, and we have a domain which is called example.com, and this means this is an absolute path. When you click this, it goes to example.com website, and this also the same. So the difference between them is relative path only used for files within the same website, but absolute path is used for external links. So we have opening links in new tabs. So, which means we can use another attribute which is called target. Target means like we can open an external website, an external link in another web page. So let's see an example and I will explain what is blank. So we are in Visual Studio Code and we don't need the first and the second. By the way, if you haven't watched our two videos, before previous videos, please watch first and it will be more useful for you to understand this video. So we'll open a new file called lesson3 and .html, and we opened a new file, and here we need to make a simple abbreviation, and after that we'll write our code. Before writing our code, I'm going to open this in browser So I will open it, and we have an empty blank. So, and we need to write our code here. For example, we have a head, right, which is h1, and we can write, for example, my website. And let's see the result. It's fine, right? And we want to use anchor tag inside of heading 1. So we'll write here A, and it reverse this one. And as you can see, when I press the enter button, it is also showing like Visual Studio Code is giving a simple anchor tag with the href attribute. And here, inside of anchor tag, which is this place, I will place my website title instead of this. And when I place them, as you can see, the color of the text is changed to like blue, kind of purple. And inside of our href, I want to write kind of any file. For example, I want to write this one. So I can write lesson to HTML, which is we are doing relative path. And when I click this, it is pathing to United States. You see? This is simple magic. And as you can see here also, this is changing to lesson2.html. If I go back, please look at here. If I go back, it is changing to lesson3.html. You see it, right? And we can use also an external links. For example, I want to use https with // for example, abudev.tech. And if I go back and if I press again, it is changing like to the website, which is my portfolio. So if I go back, you will see here will be changed to lesson3.html. You see? Okay, you understand what is anchor tag. And now, when I press, you're seeing it is like our document file is disappearing. In order to fix how we can use how we can do it. So we can use in this case in our href, in our anchor tag before href, we can write target, which stands we have blank, parent, south, and top. Mostly developers use only blank. So when we do blank, and when I go back, and as you can see we have two windows, right? And if I press this, why it didn't work? Because I didn't save it. So it should work now. If I press this, as you can see, it is opening a new window, and our document is not disappearing, and we're not going back or something else. So let's go back our slide, and we can use here, it is useful for keeping users on your site while allowing them to explore other resources. So as you can see, our document file was saved in the previous window, and it's opening an external link in a new window, so which is useful for us. And creating navigation menus. So we can create navigation menus. So I will tell you what is navigation menus. For example, when we go to, for example, to YouTube, we have navigation bar here, right? And we have menus, which is home, shorts, subscriptions, history, playlists, your videos, watch later, and so on and so forth. So in order to create, for example, if I press home, it goes to home page, right? And this also should change. So it means we can create this kind of list. So in order to create a list, we have to use now tag, which stands for navbar, and we have ul, which stands for unordered list, and we have li, which stands for list. And each of list, as you can see, we have anchor tag in order to navigate. So let's create this. So we'll go back our page, and I will delete this title. Okay, we don't need to delete it. And then we can create just now, which is the navbar, and stands for navigation, right? Oh, I'm sorry. I have to write a comment. So what is this? Also, I will tell you what is this. This is a comment in order to explain someone about what the code does. For example, I write navigation, right? Now, and I will write instead of now UL, which stands for unordered list. I will comment it, okay? It will be useful for you. Unordered list. And instead of unordered list, we'll write li, which stands for list, and inside of our list, I write anchor tag. And each anchor tag, I will write home, for example, the first one, and I will just copy and paste because the time may be exceeded, right? So we have 3, and we can put here about, for example, and we can put here contact, right? So when you press home, it should go somewhere. For example, we can write the first one, lesson 3 HTML. So it goes to lesson 3 again. And if you press lesson, when we press about, it goes to lesson 2. And when we press contact, it goes to lesson 1. And when we go to our browser, as you can see, we have home, about, and contact with like small letters. And if I press home, it just, look at this, look at here. It just like reloading this file. If I go about, it's going to about, right? And in order to make this, like in order to open this file, which is lesson 2 HTML, what we can do, I mean, in a new window. So as you know, as I taught before, it means we have to put an attribute which is called target blank. So for this now, I don't want to. And for contact, if I press, it goes to lesson 1 HTML. As you can see, you learned how to create this, right? I'm very happy for that. And if you learn something more, I'm very happy for that. Okay, and I will tell you about some takeaways and practice. So A tag is for hyperlinks, and we have 2 types of path, which is called relative path and absolute path. Relative path link within the same site we used in our video, and absolute path links to external sites, as I used for my abudev.tech website. And we have a target attribute which opens links in new tabs, and I will tell you to practice. So create this kind of simple navigation menu with 3 links, home, about, and contact, and test opening an external link in a new tab. Thank you for today's lesson. Have a great day for all of you.